Ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, welcome back to the Hazfans estate. We would like to apologize for the staff's unseemly behavior during our last party, and Lord Hazfans is hoping to make it up to you tonight. We've some fun entertainment chosen for this evening. In the spirit of the new Helluva Boss episode's release, yes, fine guests tonight, we are talking about Stella and Octavia Ars Goetia. Though their lives are ones of familial strife and political turmoil, we hope you will enjoy as we present to you 50 facts about Stella and Octavia you may or may not know. Octavia is voiced by Barrett Wilbert Weed, a Broadway actress known for her roles as Veronica Sawyer in Heathers and Janice Sarkison in Mean Girls. Octavia's younger self, however, has her own actress, seen in Season 1, Episode 2. The adorable princess is voiced by Juliana Seda, known for roles in This Is Us, A Christmas in Royal Fashion, and The Voices. Juliana Seda also has another role in Helluva Boss. Previously, she was the voice of the daughter of the Cannibal family in Season 1, Episode 1. Barrett Wilbert Weed also sang the My World is Burning Down Around Me song that Octavia listened to in Episode 2. Stella, on the other hand, is voiced by Georgina Leahy, known for appearing in The Brilliant World of Tom Gates, Pink City, and so many more that it would take the whole video to list them all. Young Octavia has a portrait in her bedroom of her and her father, showing that she originally wore a little crown of her own, and that pink dresses with stars appeared to have been her favorite outfit. In her present-day dress, however, she appears to have added the crown to other headwear like her father. The crown design now appearing on her beanie hat. She did keep the pink star-covered garments, though. Octavia is confirmed to be 17 years old by Stolas in Season 2, Episode 1. Doing the math, this would mean that Stella, if she's the same age as Stolas, would be 36 or 37. Octavia doesn't seem to eat just like any other bird, taking handfuls of Mammon's greed seeds and visibly chewing them, despite the fact that she seems to lack teeth. When they go to Lululand, Octavia calls Moxie an old man, despite him only being in his late 20s. Most likely because of his lack of understanding towards her teenager language. Hey, we've all been there, right? Oh, right. Don't worry, it's just water. Octavia was well aware of Stolas' infidelity, given how loudly he shouted about it from their roof, but seems to have adapted well to Stella shouting and throwing things despite how recent the incident was, implying that Episode 2 took place several weeks after the affair at least, though Stella still seems to bring it up daily. Octavia seemingly has a habit of singing in unladylike fashion, at least in public, with her legs spread out as far as possible. I can't say I blame her, it's far more comfortable, but given her royal upbringing, it would no doubt be a more subtle sign of her rebellious ways to sit the exact opposite of the appropriate and royal way. Octavia actually has forward-bending legs, like you or I, rather than backward-bending like some of the imps or her father. It was revealed in Season 2, Episode 1, that Octavia was the sole reason for Stolas and Stella being married, as she was to be a cautionary heir to the throne. What in the world cautionary means in this context is not explicitly stated. However, it was also stated that she was the sole reason for them staying together afterwards, as Stolas stated he wanted her to have a normal life. Stella, meanwhile, stayed with Stolas because it was clearly expected of her. Her blind rage at the idea of a divorce is a testimony to that. Octavia was scarred for life by the robotic Physicality at the same time Blitz was already there, working as a clown. meaning she possibly hadn't even been born before Blitz had his falling out with the circus. Octavia laments that she loved Lululand when she was a kid and her parents didn't hate each other, meaning although Stella was quite possibly an abusive wife, she had elected to keep their arguments hidden from their daughter, at least until it suited her. This is also hinted at when she says, "You ruined it," meaning she had seen neither of her parents do anything wrong until Stolas had his night with Blitz. Despite this, however, she seems to be more afraid of her father leaving than anything, her rough exterior finally cracking when she asks if he was going to leave her behind. This can also be seen in her younger self, as a nightmare at the start of episode 2 involves Stolas not being there for her. Stella appears to dislike fun of any variety, even in the portrait in Season 1, Episode 2, where Stolas and Octavia are seen having a great time. Stella is giving Stolas a stiff, almost angry smirk. In Season 1, Episode 7, during the House of Asmodeus song, when Asmodeus creates illusions of Stella and Octavia, the Goetia heir appears as a silhouette in the blue flames, but the crown in her hat glows white, while Stella's can't be seen on screen, which could imply that even Asmodeus respects Octavia's power as the heir of the Goetia family. Stolas states at the end of Episode 7 that even before officiating the divorce in Season 2, Stella would leave on weekends and take Octavia with her. Where she goes is not clear, but all of their wording about the situation implies Octavia goes against her will. Octavia's pilot design can be seen in a portrait in Stolas' room, while Blitz is sneaking out with the book. However, in Season 1, Episode 2, we can see that Octavia's picture has been swapped out for a portrait of himself in Gothic wear, which was kept in Season 2, Episode 1. Octavia appears to have changed bedrooms at some point, given the serious change in size of the room and the change of the wall designs between her childhood and present day. In Season 2, Episode 1, when Stolas' cheeks checks in on her, we can see that Octavia is smiling while she's sleeping, despite Stella practically yelling into the phone, showing her mother's shouting used to not bother her, until it started being directed at her dad. While Stolas was barely invited to his own anniversary party, Octavia appears to have not been invited at all, considering she's nowhere to be seen in any background shots, or maybe she had better things to do. I know I did. At that party, in fact, Stella claims that she was happy that she didn't have to have sex with his scrawny twig arse anymore, which is ironic because in the next frame, you can also see Stolas is bigger than the rich bird she's talking to. Speaking of those birds, they're the same ones from the pilot, as we can see them in the same scene from a different angle. But they're the only two Goetias to have not undergone some form of change since the pilot. As much as her design seems to have them, Octavia's punk aesthetic does not actually include fingerless gloves. We can see from the times she's sleeping both in Season 1, Episode 2, and Season 2, Episode 1, that the fingerless glove design is actually part of her feathers colorings. Octavia seems to have an issue with her self-esteem and believes her family, or at least herself, is ugly, as she doesn't seem to agree that people would want to kidnap them for their bodies. Apparently, arguments between her parents happen often that we can see Octavia listening to music at the dinner table, completely ignoring her parents while she's eating at the end of Episode 5. An interesting little detail, when Octavia is pulled away from Lulu, her entire body twists around, but her head remains locked on him with no problems, showing her owlish genetics. On top of her normal teenage rebellion, she is also the only female member of her family to never wear a dress. instead opting for casual wear. She is also the only member of the entire Guisha family who doesn't go barefoot, instead of opting for pointed high-heeled boots. Octavia seems to be getting raised to take over Stoliz's position, given her possession of a telescope, a star chart rug, a solar system mobile, and many other star-related objects. Despite everyone in the Guisha having red eyes, save for Stella's friends who have yellow, Octavia has bright purple eyes, suggesting her potential divergence from her destiny as the heir to the throne. In Stella's childhood picture in Season 2, Episode 1, the dogs she is seen to be strangling are the same kind of dog that Valentino owned on his Voxtagram account, as well as the same one seen dragging Millie away at the very end of Season 1, Episode 2. As stated before, Stella can be heard yelling into a phone when Stolas checks on Octavia. If you listen closely, you can hear she is ranting about, "Yesterday, we still got dressed and couldn't even go to the party. Everyone else gets to have their parties there," meaning, as she stated, she loves throwing parties to a frankly obnoxious degree. It's unknown whether it's Octavia listening to it in her room or if Stella's hearing it on the phone. But while Stella is telling Stolas he can come to their own anniversary party, you can hear the background music from Veronica's beach party from Season 1, Episode 3. Stella apparently wants Stolas' life to be as miserable as physically possible. Beyond what we've already seen her do, she also destroys Stolas' plants, which is the demon prince in charge of herbology, mean a lot to him, and hogged all of the blankets when they did used to sleep in the same bed. Stella is quite obviously a domestic abuser. As we can see, Stolas physically recoiled from her and her raised hand at the end of Season 2, Episode 1, but you can see earlier in the same episode that their servants are physically afraid of her, the one holding the phone looking terrified, while holding the phone both in that episode and in Season 1, Episode 5. Speaking of phones, Stella seems to have her own personal landline, as the pink feathered phone she uses is different from the black and white one Stolas uses in Season 1, Episode 7. She's also the only character who doesn't seem to have a cell phone of some kind. As we see in Season 2, Episode 2, Octavia, despite her anger with her parents, constantly fighting, still looked forward to the day when
Azathoth's tears
fall and the two of them could view it together. Octavia apparently lacks the magical know-how to form a human disguise like her father and Luna, though thankfully this seems to work to her advantage. Gotta love LA. Magic doesn't seem to come to the Guisha family naturally, as Stolas states that he's the one who teaches Octavia the spells she knows, and he hadn't taught her transportation spells without the grimoire. Stella apparently received less of a royal's education and more of a manners course, as Stolas seemed unaware she could even spell. And finally, despite the fact that she clearly doesn't want anything to do with Blitz, Octavia does know where the IMP office is located, as she was able to find it with no problem. And that just about does it for our 50 facts on the ladies of the Ars Goetia family. We hope you enjoyed your stay here. Please do not crowd the exits, and we hope to see you all again soon.
Now that was some quality content, right? I love that kind of content, specifically that kind of content. It's great. And if you want more of that, consider supporting our channel on Patreon or join right here on YouTube. We've got 3 tiers of quality extras for you to choose from with access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes looks at upcoming projects, and other work-in-progress stuff. All tiers also get you access to our exclusive Discord where you can chat with our crew and other Hazfans. And in higher tiers, you can also get perks like custom voice work from our team, or even the chance to be in a Hazfans video. Whatever way you'd like to support us, we'd greatly appreciate it. And speaking of thanks, here are this month's amazing contributors. And lastly, a very special thanks to Lars Van Eck and Richard Nichols. Now, I'm gonna go watch this video again, because, let's be honest, this quality content right here. Have a nice one.